Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Young Minds. Today we discuss about the question paper of JEE Mains examination conducted on 29th January 2025 in first shift. Okay. The first question is the pair of physical quantities not having same dimensions is. There are four options are given. First one is torque and energy. Second one surface tension and impulse. Third one angular momentum and Planck's constant. And fourth one pressure and Young's modulus. Okay. Now we discuss. Check one by one. Okay. First one is what? Torque. Okay, torque tau is equal to what? Perpendicular distance into force, R bar cross F bar. That means what? R means distance. It is nothing but by L. M L T power minus 2 is the force. So total equal to what? M L square T power minus 2. Okay. And second one is what? Energy. What is that? Energy. Energy E is equal to what? From Einstein's equation, E is equal to mc square. That means what? M is equal to mass. C square means what? Velocity. That means L square T power minus 2. So both are having the same dimension. So option A is not correct. Okay, next B. What is B? Surface tension. Surface tension. Surface tension T is equal to what? Force acting normal to the unit length. Okay, normal to unit length of free surface of a liquid. That means what? M L T power minus 2 by L. So the dimensional formula of surface tension equal to what? M T power minus 2. Next, its pair equal to what? Impulse. Impulse. J is equal to what? Force into time. Okay. M L T power minus 2 into T. That means what? M time T. That means M L T power minus 1. So it may be the answer. Why? Because surface tension and impulse both are different. Okay, dimension formulas. Next, third one is angular momentum. Angular momentum. Okay, L is equal to what? I into omega. I means moment of inertia. That means mr square means what? ml square. Omega. Angular velocity is nothing but T power minus 1. ml square T power minus 1. And its pair is what? Planck's constant. Planck's constant. Planck's constant from E is equal to what? H nu. That implies H is equal to what? E by nu. That means what? M L square T power minus 2 by T power minus 1. So it is also equal to ml square T power minus 1. So these two are also having the same dimension formulas. And fourth option is pressure and Young's modulus. Pressure. 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 P is equal to what? Force acting normal to the area. Okay, normal to the surface area. Means what? M L square T power, M L T power minus 2. M L T power minus 2 by L square. That means what? M L power minus 1 T power minus 2. And its pair is what? Young's modulus. Young's modulus. Young's modulus Y is equal to what? Stress by strain. Stress by strain. Stress is equal to what? Force by area. Strain is equal to what? Change in length by original length. That means change in dimension by original dimension. So it is also equal to what? M L T power minus 2 by L square by M power 0, L power 0, T power 0. Why? Because strain is a ratio of same kind of physical quantities, so it doesn't have any dimension formulas. So M power 0, L power 0, T power 0, the answer equal to what? M L power minus 1, T power minus 2. So from this analysis we come to conclusion option B. What is that? Surface tension and impulse having different, not having same dimension formula. So according to the given question, option of this question is, answer of this question is what? Surface tension and impulse. These two are not having same dimensions. Okay, right. The second question, the expression given below shows the variation of velocity with time, which is equal to V is equal to AT square plus BT by C plus T. So the dimensions of A, B, C is, okay. You know, in dimensional analysis we have a formula. What is that? Principle of homogeneity. So from principle of homogeneity, what it says, according to principle of homogeneity, the physical quantities having same dimensions are allowed to added, subtracted, or can be equated. Okay, so based on that one, we in LHSI velocity is there, in RHSI it is sum of two quantities. So these two also having same represent the same physical quantity, then only this equation is correct. Okay, that means what? V is equal to what? A into t square. That implies what? A is equal to what? V by t square. So V is equal to what? Velocity. Velocity dimension formula equal to what? L t power minus 1 by t means time. Time means what? T squared. So L t power minus 3 is the dimensions of. Okay, what is it? A. Okay, next one V. Next one, B by Ct. To see V is equal to what? B by Ct. Here to see C is added to time. That means both are having same dimension. That's why we are allowed to add it. That means what? C plus T. Okay, having same dimension. That means what? C is equal to what? Time T only. Okay, next we want to calculate B, equating LHS and RHS. That means what? V is equal to what? B into T by C plus T. That means here to see C and T both are having same dimension. That's why we are allowed to add a time given, time only. That's why it may write B into time T by C and T. Here not to see T plus C is not 2T. It is only represent time. That means what? By T. That means what? T is cancelled. Then velocity is equal to what? B. That implies B is equal to what? L T power minus 1. So what is asking? Find ABC. That means therefore dimensions of A, B, C is equal to A. You get A is equal to what? L T power minus 3. Okay. B is equal to what? L T power minus 1. C is equal to what? T. Then this is equal to what? L square. L into L. L square. T power minus 3 minus 1 minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. T power minus 3. So the dimensions of ABC is equal to what? L square T power minus 3. That's it. The third question. Two projectiles are fired with the same initial speed from same point on ground at angles of 45 minus alpha as well as 45 degree plus alpha respectively with the horizontal direction. Okay, the ratio of the maximum heights attained is, okay, supposed to see. Okay, this is a projectile fired with an angle 45 degree minus alpha, and second projectile with the same initial velocity from the same point of ground making an angle suppose 45 plus alpha. Okay, both are attained somewhat height h above the ground. That is called its maximum height. So from definition of maximum height, h max is equal to what? U square by 2g. U square by 2. This is the formula for maximum height attained by a projectile. Here it makes some angle with respect to the horizontal. So which is equal to what? U sine theta whole square by 2g. That means what? U square sine square theta by 2g. This is the height formula. Okay. First one projected with an angle 45 degree minus alpha. Second one is projected 45 degree plus alpha. So first body projected with this angle is attained height h1 is equal to U square sine square 45 minus alpha by U square. That means what? Second body attained height h2. So it is equal to U square sine square 45 degree plus alpha. Okay. The ratio is asking the ratio of their maximum height. So this is h max 1, this is h max 2. U square is cancelled. Similarly, it may be right like this. So finally get sine square 45 minus alpha by sine 45 plus alpha. Okay, simplify this equation. You know, sine 45 minus alpha is equal to what? Sine A minus B, because sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. So what is this? Sine 45 into cos alpha minus cos 45 into sine alpha. Okay, sine alpha. Okay, so what is value? Sine 45 equal to what? 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 into cos alpha minus cos 45 is also 1 by root 2 into sin alpha. So it may write 1 by root 2 into cos alpha minus sin alpha, isn't it? Similarly, sin 45 plus alpha is also getting the same value. Now we can say sin square 45 minus alpha is equal to 1 by root 2 into cos alpha minus sin alpha whole square, which is equal to what? 1 by 2 into, what is that? Cos square alpha plus sin square alpha minus 2 cos alpha sin alpha, isn't it? So you get the value, cos square theta plus sin square theta equal to 1, which is equal to what? 1 by 2 of 1 minus 2 cos alpha sin alpha, 2 sin A cos B. What is that? 1 minus 2 sin theta. That means sin 2 alpha. Similarly, you get sin square 45 plus alpha. Sin square 45 plus alpha. Sorry, sin square is also having the same thing. That means sin 45 plus alpha is also equal to what? Sin 45, it may also getting the same value, sin 45 cos alpha plus cos 45 into sin alpha. So you get the same thing, sin 45 equal to what? 1 by root 2 into cos alpha plus cos 45 equal to what? 1 by root 2 into sin alpha. From this one I would like to take 1 by 2 root 2 common. 1 by root 2 into what? Cos alpha plus sin alpha. Now we can square it. Sin square 45 plus alpha sin square equal to whole square. That means what? 1 by root 2 into cos alpha plus sin alpha whole square, which is equal to what? 1 by 2 into cos square alpha plus sin square alpha plus 2 sin alpha into cos alpha. Sin square plus cos square equal to what? 1. So which is equal to what? 1 by 2 into, we have to say 1 plus this whole thing is replaced by 1. Plus 2 sin alpha cos alpha means what? Sin 2 alpha. 1 by sin 2 alpha. What is asking? H1 by H2. Therefore, we have to say. So simplify this one, finally get the answer. What is required? Therefore, H1 by H2 is equal to, therefore, H1 by H2 is equal to H1. How much you get? 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into 1 minus sin 2 alpha by sin square 45 plus alpha is equal to what? 1 by 2 into 1 plus sin 2 alpha. These two are cancelled. Therefore, H1 by H2 is equal to what? 1 minus sin 2 alpha by 1 plus sin 2 alpha. So this is the answer for this question. Right. The fourth question, as shown below, bob A of a pendulum having massless spring, of length is what? R. Its length is equal to what? R. R is released from 60 degree to the vertical. It is released from 60 degree to the vertical. It hits another bob B. Of half the mass that is at rest. Actually, this is the bob. Its mass is half the mass of bob A. So basically, it is at rest. That means this ball after releasing hit this bob B, which is initially at rest. Lies on a frictionless table in the center. Assuming this is elastic collision, the magnitude of the velocity of bob A after the collision will be. That means what? Here the collision is given. What kind of collision? It is elastic collision. In elastic collision, this is the first body. This is the second body. It is initially at rest. So this body is hit this object. So what happened after the collision? What happened? Both are both are moving with different speeds, say called v1 and v2 respectively. So find the velocity of the bomb A. This is given. Okay, first of all, with what velocity with which this bob after release from rest hit the second bob is at rest? Okay, that is you should calculate. So for that you can use the conservation of energy. This is the bob B. This is the bob B initially where it is at rest. Okay, this initial rest bob B is hit by another bob A, which is released from rest. Okay, making an angle theta with respect to the vertical. So what happened? This is the body is slowly gains velocity and hit the bob B. So what happened? Collision takes place. After the collision, find the velocity of bob A. That is asking. Okay, so you want to calculate what velocity with which the bob A hit bob B. That is using from conservation of energy. Initially, before this bob is released, it is having somewhat height h above the ground, isn't it? Why? Because initially bob B is on the ground only. Okay, so this is the height h above the ground, so that this total length is equal to r. So this length is equal to what? R minus h, isn't it? R minus h. So from using the conservation of energy, total energy at A is equal to total energy before just hitting bob B. That means approximately it is at the bottom. That means at vertically down point. That means what? Total energy at A is equal to total energy at this point B, isn't it? So what is total energy? Potential energy at point A plus kinetic energy at point A is equal to what? Potential energy at point B plus kinetic energy at point B. Okay, right. What is the potential energy? The bob is at a height h. So what is the potential energy at point this? mgh plus 0. Why? Because it is initially at rest. So what is its initial kinetic energy? 0. So which is equal to potential energy at B. So after it reaches ground, its energy is equal to what? 0. Please, half m v square. Half m v square. This velocity with which it is hit the bob B at rest is equal to what? Say called u. Okay, right. So what is that? mgh is equal to what? Half m u square. On both sides, mm is cancelled. That implies gh is equal to what? U square by 2. But you don't know the h value. So for calculating this h value, you can use this right angle triangle. So this is what? R minus h. This is adjacent side. So that you can take cos theta is equal to, from above, cos 60 is equal to cos theta is equal to what? Adjacent by hypotenuse. That means what? R minus h by hypotenuse equal to what? R. That implies R minus h is equal to what? Cos that is equal to 1 by 2, which is equal to what? R by 2. That implies h is equal to what? H is equal to what? H is equal to what? Suppose when you take r brought into the side, then minus h is equal to r minus 2 by 2. That means r minus r by 2. That means what? R by 2. H is equal to what? R by 2. So substitute it here. Therefore, G into h is equal to what? R by 2. That means what? H is equal to what? R by 2. G into what? R by 2 is equal to what? U square by 2. 2 is cancelled. That implies U is equal to what? Root GR. So this is the bob after release hit this bob B with the speed of GR. So its speed is equal to what? Root GR, with which it hit the bob. Okay, this is A, this is bob B. Okay, so after collision, bob A and bob B more with velocities A and B. That means V1 and V2. So what is given? This collision is what? Elastic collision. So in elastic collision, conservation of momentum is the whole square. That means what? m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to what? m1 v1 plus m2 v2, isn't it? So m1 u1, okay, m mass of the first bar is say m into with what velocity it hit the second bar? With velocity of root gr. So m into root gr plus 0. Why? Because m2 is equal to what? Mass of the second bob is half of the first one. That means what? M by 2 into. Initially it is at rest. Second bob is at rest. That means u2 is equal to what? 0. It is equal to m1 v1. m1 means what? First bob. Mass m. Hit the after collision. Its velocity equal to what? v1. Okay. So plus m2 means what? Half of the second bob b mass is equal to half of the first one. That means m by 2 into its velocity equal to what? v2. So on both sides m is cancelled. So you get root gr is equal to v1 plus v2, isn't it? Root gr. This m by 2 is 0, 0. So what is that? M mass is cancelled. Yes, v2 by 2. v2 by 2. Okay. So it may write simply 2v1 plus v2 is equal to what? Root gr. That means root 2gr, isn't it? Root 2 into gr. 2v1 plus v2 root 2 into gr. So this is equation 1. Okay. Now you want to calculate the required velocity of the first body. Okay, after collision. So for that we can use this notation. What is that? You know, this collision is what kind of collision it is given? Elastic collision. So in elastic collision, from definition of coefficient of restitution, for elastic collision, coefficient of restitution equal to what? 1. Therefore, from definition of coefficient of restitution, what is that? Relative velocity of separation after the collision to the relative velocity of approaching before the collision, isn't it? So E is equal to what? V2 minus V1 by U1 minus U2. That implies E is equal to what? 1 for elastic collision. So 1 is equal to what? V2 minus V1 by U minus 0. Why? Because second body is initially at rest. Okay. So therefore you get V2 minus V1 is equal to what? U. 1 into U is U. So I would like to, this is equation 2. Now I would like to subtract equation 1 from equation 2, or equation 2 is subtract from equation 1. Okay, that means what? 1 minus 2. I would like to doing 1 minus 2. So what happened? 2v1 plus v2 minus v2, okay, plus v1 is equal to what? U. Okay, so here minus v2 plus v2 cancel. 2v1 plus v1, what is 3v1 is equal to u. But you get u is equal to what? Root gr. Therefore v1 is equal to what? U by 3. That implies v1 is equal to, you already get root gr. That means what? Root gr by 3. Okay. So after the collision, first bob A is moving with velocity of 1/3 of its initial velocity, called root gr. Okay, that's it. Right, the fifth question. The coordinates of a particle with respect to origin in a reference frame is 1, 1, 1. That means position vector is given. What is that? I cap plus j cap plus k cap. That is given. Okay. Meter. If a force vector is given, what is that? I cap minus j cap plus k cap acts on a particle, then the magnitude of torque, then he is asking torque is equal to how much? Okay, you know definition of torque is equal to what? Vector product of or position vector and force vector. Vector product of position and force. So you know how to do this one. It is nothing but determinant of 3 by 3 matrix, isn't it? So which is equal to what? I cap, j cap, k cap. Position vector coordinates are 1, 1, 1. But force vector 1, minus 1, 1. So find it determinant value. That means what? I cap into what is this? This column and this row. So what is it? 1 into 1, 1. Okay, minus 1. That means what? Plus 1. Isn't it? I cap into what? 1 plus 1 minus j cap into 1 minus 1 plus k cap into minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so you get 2 I cap 0. That means what? Minus 2 k cap. Isn't it 2 I cap minus k cap? Okay? Right. Therefore, magnitude of torque tau is equal to root over 2 square plus of minus 2 whole square equal to what? Root over 4 plus 4 root 8 Newton meter. So this is answer for this question. Okay, right. Right, the sixth question. The maximum speed of a boat in still water is 27 km per hour. Now this boat is moving downstream in a river flowing at 9 km per hour. A man in the boat throws a ball vertically downward upwards with the speed of 10 meter per second. Range of the ball as observed by an observer at the rest of the river bank. That means this whole thing is observed by a man at rest. Moreover, he is at bank of a river. Okay. Now, what is given? Downstream in the question is given. What is the meaning of downstream? If boat is moving in the direction of water in a river is called downstream. If suppose the boat is moving in opposite direction of flow of water in the river, that is called upstream. Okay, right, which is observed, that means which is understand with the help of diagram. Okay, in this case, this is the river. Okay, in this river, what happened? The maximum speed of boat in still water. Maximum speed of, suppose this is the boat here. Okay, this is the boat. What is its speed? That means velocity of boat with respect to ground, isn't it? Right. Next, this water in the river also flowing. That means velocity of water with respect to ground. Velocity of water with respect to ground. Okay. Now we can say always velocities of anything compared to standard reference. Here water is flowing, its speed is understood with the help of ground. Similarly, velocity of boat is given with respect to water you are supposed to be calculate, then it is correct. Okay, right. Now it may be right like this: velocity of boat with respect to ground VBG is equal to velocity of water with respect to ground plus velocity of boat with respect to water. Velocity of boat with respect to what? Water. So velocity of water with respect to ground, it is also given. What is velocity of water with respect to ground flowing at what is that? 27 km. That means 27 kmph plus velocity of boat with respect to water. What is that? 9 kmph. Okay, what is that? 36 kmph. It may be converted into meter per second. It is multiplied by 5 by 18. 8 1 ja, 8 2 ja, 2 5 ja, 10 meter per second is given. Okay. Now, from what happened in this boat, a person is supposed to be thrown a ball vertically up. Okay. Whether a person is thrown a ball vertically up means what? The object is also moving in the direction of velocity of boat. So what is asking? Range. That means what happened? Whenever the boat is moved forward, the ball is also moved forward. This whole thing is observed by a person outside the flow of river. That means outside, that means he is observed at the from bank of the river, who is initially at rest. Okay, right. Next, what is the range? Suppose range is what? This is the horizontal displacement covered by the body is called range. So range R is equal to what? Horizontal, that means velocity component, velocity, into time of flight. What is the time spent by the projectile in the space? That means what the projectile body spends some time before it reaches after projection is called time of flight. Time of flight. So what is the velocity with which the body is projected up? 10 meter per second, isn't it? That means what? 10 into what is the time of flight? Formula 2u by g. That means time of ascent plus time of descent, which is equal to what? 10 into 2 into u also given. With what speed with which the body is projected vertically up? 10. So it means 2 into 10 by 10 approximately. That means what is that? 20 meter. But answer is asking in centimeter. That implies what? Which is equal to 20 into 1000. Okay, centimeter equal to what? 2000 centimeter. So this is the answer for this question. Okay, the seventh question, assertion and reason type. What is assertion? Time period of a simple pendulum is longer at the top of a mountain than that at the base of the mountain. Okay, reason is time period of a simple pendulum decreases with increasing value of acceleration due to gravity and vice versa. Okay, so to observe these two statements are correct or not. Okay, right. First one is time period of a pendulum. Time period of a simple pendulum. Simple pendulum. What is the time period of a simple pendulum? T is equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. Okay, what is that? T is equal to 2 pi into root over L by G. So what happened? What is the first assertion is going? Time period of a pendulum is longer. That means T is longer at the top of the mountain than that at the base of the mountain. You know, when you go away from the surface of the earth, okay, at height h above the ground, okay, what happened? Acceleration to gravity changes. How it is changes? G dash is equal to G into R square by R plus H square. R square by R plus H whole square. Okay. So what happened when you go away from the ground? G is what happened? G decreases. But the G gradually decreases. Actually, time period is here. Time period is inversely proportional to what? Root over G. Okay, when you go away, suppose this is the ground. On the ground, acceleration to gravity is G. At height h above the ground, acceleration to gravity is equal to G dash. So when G dash is decreases gradually, so what happened? Time period is if G is decreases, that means time period is what? Increases. That means what? It take too much time, large time taken for completion of oscillation. So period of simple pendulum is longer. That means period of simple pendulum is what? Increases means what? Therefore, time period is increases. Time period is what? Increases. Time period is what? Increases. Okay, why? Because G is increases, D is decreases. That means T is increase. Why? Because both are inversely dependent. So assertion is correct. Okay, what is the reason? Time period of a simple pendulum decreases. Yes, it is yes. The whole discussion is prove this one. So reason is also correct. Okay, that means on the ground G is more when you are taken the body is above the ground. Okay, so reason is correct explanation of assertion. So assertion and reason both are correct. Moreover, reason is correct explanation of assertion. Okay, right. The eighth question, the fractional compression delta V by V of water at the depth of 2.5 kilometer below the sea level is some what percentage? This is given, asking. For that, given some data. What is that? Bulk modulus of water, density of water, acceleration due to gravity are given. Okay. So first we can see what is asking bulk modulus. Bulk modulus B is equal to what? Volume stress by volume strain. You know very well. Volume stress by volume strain. Okay. Here volume stress, that means F by A, it is also equal to F by A by volume strain means what? Delta V by V. Here due to volume, that means volume stress, okay, that means water molecule is experiencing force in all directions. So it is nothing but what is the pressure? It means what? Delta F by A is nothing but what is it? Delta P by delta V by V. Here pressure is equal to what? Some depth below the water, that is given. So what is that? Rho G into H. Delta P is equal to what? Pressure. Okay, at some depth below the surface. What is that? Rho G H by delta V by V. Okay, so what is asking? What is that? Depth below. What is it? The fractional compression. What is the fractional compression? That means therefore delta V by V is equal to what? Rho G H by B. Fractional change means what? Delta V by V into 100 is asking equal to what? Rho G H by B into what? 100. Okay, which is calculate. Density of water is given. What is the density of water? 10 cube. Rho is equal to 10 cube. G is equal to water 10. H is equal to how much the depth below the surface? 2.5 kilometer means what? 2.5 into 10 cube meter, isn't it? Okay, rho GH by bulk modulus also given. What is the bulk modulus of water is given? 2 into 10 power 9 into what? 100, isn't it? So this 10 cube, 10 power 4, 10 power 7, 10 power 9. So these whole are cancelled with this one. So 2.5 by 2 equal to what? 1.25. Okay, it is only numerical value, doesn't have any dimensions. Why? Because it is a ratio of same kind of physical quantities. Okay, right. The ninth question. The work done in an adiabatic change in an ideal gas depends only on. What is given? Work done in an adiabatic change. Okay, what is adiabatic change? Adiabatic process. What is adiabatic process? What is adiabatic process? What is adiabatic process? Okay, a physical change in such a way that heat is neither allowed to enter into the system from surroundings. Okay, as well as heat is not allowed. It is what? It is not allowed to leave the system to its surroundings. That means what? Temperature remains what? Same. Temperature what? In adiabatic process, change in temperature remains same. Change in temperature remains same. Okay, that means what? Heat energy is not allowed to enter into the system, as well as heat is not allowed to leave the system. Therefore, dq is equal to what? 0. So, from first law of thermodynamics, okay, the amount of heat supplied to system dq is equal to what? du plus dw. That means the supplied energy is utilized per increase in internal energy of the system as well as to do external work. But here dw is equal dq is equal to what? 0. That system is called adiabatic system. So dq is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to du plus dw. Therefore, work done in adiabatic process is equal to what? Minus du. What is it? Minus du. So according to definition, du is equal to what? Minus n into Cv into dt. It means what? Specific heat of gas at constant volume. Constant volume. So only variable is what? dt. While doing work, what is variable? Only change in temperature is a variable. So change in its temperature. So this is the correct option for this question. Okay, right. The 10th question. A container of fixed volume contains a gas at 27 degrees Celsius. Okay. To double the pressure of the gas, the temperature of gas should be raised to. So first, what is given? A gas is fixed, okay, in a container. So its volume remains what? Constant. That means volume remains constant. Volume constant. Okay. So when you fill a gas in a container, means it is at some pressure. So initially pressure, okay, of gas in the given container, say P1 is equal to, say, called P. Okay, it is at how much temperature? 27 degrees Celsius. So temperature T1 is equal to what? It is nothing but absolute temperature. temperature T1 is equal to what? 27 degree. That implies absolute temperature, say T1 is equal to 27 plus 273 is equal to what? 300 Kelvin. Okay, next, now you want to change this pressure from initial to double of it. That means finally what is your aim? Double the initial pressure. That means finally pressure P2 is equal to what? Double the initial. That means what? Initial is equal to P. Now it is double. P2 is equal to P. So how much temperature is required? T2 is equal to how much? Small T2. Temperature in degrees Celsius is how much? But it is absolute temperature is T2. Okay, why? Because we know Charles' law, at constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to absolute temperature. So this is called what is a Charles' law. That's why I would like to change this degrees Celsius into Kelvin. So that what is that? P proportional to T. That implies what? P by T is equal to constant. Therefore, P1 by T1 is equal to what? P2 by T2. That implies P1 is equal to what? P. Initial pressure equal to P1 is equal to P. Temperature is equal to what is absolute temperature? 300 Kelvin is equal to what? 2P. Pressure now it is double to its initial. So how much temperature is required? So on both sides, P is cancelled. That implies T2 is equal to what? 600 Kelvin. But asking answer in degrees Celsius. Therefore, T is equal to what? 600 minus 273. Okay, what is that? 327 degrees Celsius. This much temperature is required to double the pressure of the given gas is enclosed in a container at initially at 27 degrees Celsius. That's it. The 11th question, in a hydraulic lift, the surface area of the input piston is 6 cm square and that of the output piston is 1500 cm square. If 100 Newton force is applied to the input piston to raise the output piston by 20 cm, then work done is asking in kilojoules. To see, this is a hydraulic lift. What is it? Hydraulic lift. Hydraulic lift, okay, is worked based on Pascal's law, isn't it? Pascal's law. What is Pascal's law? Pressure is same. What is Pascal's law? Pressure is same. What is that? Pressure is same. Okay, all points at same level in a steady fluid. That means when you take a fluid, okay, in this fluid you can imagine two different points at a different positions, but they are at same height, okay, from the reference point. Okay, that means basically what is the basic condition of Pascal's law? The fluid must be at steady, is at rest. Okay, in that rest fluid, when you take two different points, those 2 points are supposed to be at same height, that means same level compared to from ground as well as from surface. So pressure at this point A, say PA, and pressure at this point B, both are same. Okay, so the best example of Pascal's law is hydraulic lift. So to see, in a hydraulic lift there are two pistons connected with a horizontal pipe, okay, for providing same pressure at same points of heights. Okay, so in this hydraulic lift, this is a hydraulic lift. Okay, when you it's a cross section of this input piston is called A1. Okay, the cross section of this output piston is called A2. when you apply a force on this small piston is F1, okay, it exert, that means this applied force in the form of pressure, okay, apply equally at all points on this output piston surface area. So it exerts some force. Okay, due to this force, the object is rises somewhat height h or something. Okay, so some work is supposed to be done, that is asking. Okay, so according to Pascal's law, pressure at this point equal to pressure at this point. So pressure at this point, say P1 input piston, pressure at output piston is say called P2. So for according to Pascal's law, P1 is equal to what? P2. Pressure is equal to what? Force per area. That means what? This is the input pressure exerted by means of force on the surface area, which is equal to F1 by A1 equal to what? F2 by A2. That implies F1 is given. F1 is given. What is how much? On if 100 Newton force is applied in the input piston, that means what? F1 is equal to what? 100 by. Okay, this 100 Newton force applied on input piston of surface area, how much? 6 centimeter square. So which is equal to what? 6 centimeter square is equal to what? F2. How much force? Okay, delivered on output piston, say F2, which is equal to what? Which exert on surface area for output piston is also given. How much? 1500 centimeter square. 1500 centimeter square. That implies F2 is equal to what? 100 into 15 by 6. Okay, 2 3 ja 250 ja 3 1 ja 3 5 ja. Okay, right. 5 5 ja 20. 2500 Newton is okay delivered at this output piston. Due to this force, body is displaces to a how much height? 20 centimeter height. So displacement occurred, okay, is equal to what? 20 centimeter. That means what? 20 centimeter is 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. Therefore work done is equal to what? Force into displacement. How much force is exerted on the output piston? 2500 Newton into 20 into 10 power minus 2 meter. So answer is equal to what? 0 point means 250 into 2. How much? 500, isn't it? 500. Okay, 500 or 5000? 2000. Yes, 500. But it is expressed in terms of kilojoules. Okay, it may be right when you see 2 minus 20. That means 2000. Okay, right, 5000. That means 5 into 10 cube joule. So which equal to 5 kilojoule. Okay, this is the work is done by this piston. Okay, right. Okay, the 12th question. A body of mass m connected to a massless and unstretchable string goes in vertical circle of radius r under gravity. Let us take a mass connected to the one end of a unstretchable massless string, and now it is allowed to move in a vertical circular path. Okay, r is the radius of the circular path. Okay, other than the string is fixed at center. If the velocity at the top of the circular path, suppose the velocity at the top of the circular path is equal to what? N into root gr. N into what? Root gr, where n is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, similarly, what is the velocity at this bottommost point? Say Vb is equal to what is the word? Velocity at topmost square plus 4gr. You know very well this value. Okay, this is the velocity at bottommost point. Okay, right. Okay, okay, right. Okay, right. What is asking? Then the ratio of the kinetic energy of the body at the bottommost point. That means kinetic energy of body at bottommost point to the kinetic energy at the topmost point is equal to what? Half m velocity at bottommost point square by half m into velocity at topmost point square. So these two are cancelled. So velocity at bottommost point, okay, is nothing but velocity at topmost means what? N square into gr plus 4gr by whole square. That's why I would like to say like this. Okay, so by velocity at topmost point. What is that? N square into gr. So gr is cancelled. The remaining what? N square plus 4 by n square. So this is the answer for this question.